Hi, and welcome to episode 36 of the Sweet Nature Cruise Cast. Hi, I'm Linz, as always I'm joined by Marky.
Hello.
Hello, and today we're talking about whether main dining rooms have lost their magic. Yes, but first, a little mood music.
You're tuned in to the Sweet Natured Cruise Cast with Lindsay and Mark.
Has the magic of the main dining room gone?
What is that?
What do you think of today's music, Linz? I will just say we've got something very special at the end of it, which is a much longer version. So stay tuned to then if you want to, or skip to then, or don't bother. But
I'm so sorry.
As you said in the intro and in the music, today we're looking at about whether the magic of the main dining room's gone, whether it has that same pull of what it used to do, and sort of our thoughts on it. We then got a little bit of a chat about 3 news stories.
Okay.
And no cruise confession today.
Okay,
We're saving some up at the moment for the late night Lindsay special. But I thought I'd kick it off with the sort of main dining room part of it seems to be becoming less of a sort of a focal point and a priority for a lot of ships, especially the bigger ships with more dining options. And do you think in part that's why there's maybe less of a push from the cruise lines for that, because there's a chance for you to upgrade and spend more money on board and go to the speciality dining, and they're putting increasingly more of them on. Or is it the opposite side of that, where certainly post-pandemic, where there's been cutbacks on it, and the main dining room food's maybe not as good on some cruise lines as it was pre-2020?
You've given a lot of things to me there to process following that song. So what I'm going to first of all talk about, like you said, about the big ships, which are, I would say, they have a restaurant in a main dining room styling, but it's not. It's usually they've got other things to complement that, where they've got other dining rooms, and
you mean different complementary food options? Yeah, they do.
They do, and it isn't becoming a priority for a lot of cruise lines, because if you go on, I don't want to pick on them again, but if you go on Cunard, embarkation day dress, what you got on the ship, on a Cunard shipping during the day, it's not necessarily, even if it's in the Caribbean, what you go to dinner in an evening.
Yeah.
Unlike if I was getting on Royal Caribbean, even in Barcelona,
you'd be quite happy to go to
you just get on in
dining room
in what you turned up in.
Yeah.
There doesn't. I'm not saying it's not an effort thing. It's just there's other things to keep you busy on the ship that dressing for dinner becomes less of a priority.
And do you think that's a factor? Because obviously we've talked about, a cruise ship's still too formal. We did that on the last episode.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an element of that for sort of cruisers, new and existing, where either they feel the magic of the main dining room where everyone got dressed up for dinner and made that more of an effort?
Yeah.
Kind of. Isn't there anymore, so therefore it's not for them. And maybe for newer cruisers who never had it, they just don't feel the pull in the same way. It's not that long since you got on a cruise ship and you might have had a buffet and you had the main dining room, that was it.
Yeah, before they brought on all the speciality and everything.
Yeah.
It's just, it without sounding contrary, the main dining room is quite casual on the majority of nights.
On most ships?
On most ships, apart from the formal night. And also then there's ships where you are seated with people, because those big tables of 10 and 6 and even, 2s were not a thing.
No.
But in a lot of ships now they are. Some still keeping those big tables.
Yeah.
But people are a lot more casual, and they're not putting on the cocktail frock.
I just want to go back to something you touched on there with sort of the bigger tables, because we've talked before that we like a table for two. Obviously, if we're out with friends, then
that's different.
That's different, but as opposed to sitting with.
But that's for the channel.
But do you think that when people look back on the magic of the main dining room, it was when you sat with different people each night, or you sat with the same people, but you didn't know them before you got on a ship, and therefore you were.
Well, you had the same.
That as well.
You had the same people.
You had the same waiting staff.
Same waiting staff, and the same, like you said, the same guests sat with you. That is now kind of changed with how it is.
Yeah.
But there are some cruise lines where you can sit with people. We don't. One, because I try the food and we talk about the food and the drink and everything.
Yeah.
And it's our dinner time.
Yeah.
Two, people don't really do small talk. People feel a bit awkward these days. A lot of people don't even like answering the telephone. Never mind then sitting to dinner with people.
No, I think that's a fair point. I wonder if one of the sort of, when you look at when did it start to change significantly. So I remember it being different when we started cruising. That's only 20 years ago. But do you think the introduction of things like Anytime or Freedom Dining changed that as well? Because you then went from having your own allocated table that you had every night of the cruise. You used to get it as part of your sort of...
You got your little card.
Yeah, you knew exactly what to... When you got on the ship, you could go have a look at it. And we did that in the early days. We went to check where his table was. But you had the same waiting staff who really got to know you by the end of the cruise, knew that you liked your escargot, and would often just bring it over without even asking you. They just assumed that you'd want some by sort of night 3. They know what drinks you liked. And I think certainly on the bigger cruise ships, that's pretty much gone away now.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to think of any of the big ships where that really remains. And I also think that when people are going on the bigger ships and the cruise lines, there's that many choices of places to eat.
Yeah.
And as you said rightly, a lot of complimentary ones as well. That they're just not made. They might only go to the main dining room for an evening if they're on a 7-night cruise twice.
Well,
it's just another restaurant.
It's funny because when we're booking speciality, we tend to book speciality from the nights either side, the formal nights. We're like, we'll suss it out. We'll go on formal night to the main dining room.
Which is often an occasion.
Occasion, and everybody's is dressed up. There's napkins and there's tablecloths, just like there are when it's just a smart casual night. But smart casual, is pretty casual.
Yeah.
It's it's not. It doesn't have that on formal nights. It feels a different restaurant to it does when it's any other night.
It does, and I think that's because for us. It's because it feels more like what it did when we first started cruising. And I'm sure someone who started cruising 40 years, 60 years ago will feel it even more.
Yeah.
But it certainly does for us. I wonder if people who are new to cruising feel that same way.
No, I
don't necessarily mean the young. They could be the same age as us on the first cruise.
I think it'd be unusual for a new to cruise person to get on and go, I know, I'll sit with complete strangers for my dinner, who I've never met before, have zero in common with. If you're on an international cruise, as Brits, we have certain, I'm not going to say rules, but there's things we don't touch to talk about at dinner. That's why we're known for talking about the weather, because we don't talk about politics or religion.
That doesn't apply to every country.
That does not apply to every country.
No, then you can feel a bit awkward.
Oh, it gets so awkward. I mean...
But also quite amused.
Well, no, because we don't tend... It's only very rare if we're on an officer's table or a captain's
we've been
table.
invited onto a
table.
Then
we end up on those things. And we just can't... It's weird. But we don't participate in that type of... We do weather.
Or food.
Or food.
Or anything else that's not politics or religion.
No.
And yeah, I get that if that's your first time that you go on it, that it's not going to
It'd be terrifying.
Yeah. But I also don't think that there's any, because that would be your first cruise, or you've been fairly new to cruising, then you've not got that sort of looking back positively about it. You haven't got that magic of the past of going, this is what it used to be like.
Yeah.
You want to sort of relive those restaurant main dining room glory days. You've nothing like that to experience. And I think that if you look at, what people want to do, if you've been on an excursion, they'll go, oh, well, we'll go up to the buffet. Or if you're on something like the Iona class, you go, well, we'll go to the Keys.
Yes.
If you're on Celebrity, you go, well, we could go to X, Y, and Z, go to the grill or whatever. You've got a lot of options that are in there, and even more so if you're on sort of the really big ships, like sort of your Icon of the Sea, and I said she's the Icon of the Seas, where you've got hot dog stands and all sorts of stuff as well.
Yeah.
So the amount of food that you've got as an option is now so big that those main dining rooms just seem to be less and less of. And we've talked mainly about nighttime.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's a port day, then it's not. Doesn't tend to be open for lunch, or it's a very limited lunch.
Again, some cruise lines do.
Yeah, some cruise. Or they put on a fancy lunch or something. It's if you've got the excursions are getting more intense, so you could be off the ship all day, and the last thing you want to do then is go and sit. It used to be an excursion was like you might be on a bus or a coach an hour. And now you can be on the coach 2 hours.
Or 3 or 4.
Yeah, depending on where you are. I mean, we watched, oh my goodness, I've forgotten his name. I feel terrible. Where he went to the pyramids.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like...
A couple of hours each way.
And you would. The thing is, if you pulled into Alexandria and you've never seen the pyramids, you are going to...
You absolutely would.
You were going to do it. And then to be in that 110-degree heat... And then get back on the ship and go, oh, you know what? I'll get all now trussed up in a fancy frock and heels when you just
and go to the main dining room.
And go to the main dining room. If that's insistent that you have to dress for it, you're not going to do it. But I
don't think that many do.
I still want to go to the main dining room though if I'm covered in sand and.
No, I would expect not. But I'm not sure that's a problem of the main dining room. I think that's more just the convenience of.
I think it's reflective. If everybody was back on the ship, if you went, oh, we're going to go to this little, the only thing to see was an hour tops away on a coach.
Yeah, then you're back on the lot sooner. Yeah, then you've got a lot longer to get ready. You would probably just maybe have a snack when you get on and then get ready. Yeah, I think there's elements of that. I think I touched on it right near the start, that I think the food quality and the quantity on quite a few of the ships, I'm not going to pick on any in particular, as we've talked about before, I think it has definitely got worse in the last 5 years.
Well,
and I don't think that helps.
I wouldn't say worse. It's got more generic in choices. And if you want to spoil yourself, you've got to pay a little bit more for a supplement.
Yeah.
Again, if we're in the main dining room, and I've made some effort to be there. I don't want to be ordering a steak and a lobster tail for a supplement when I'm just wearing the same things I've had on all day.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Virgin that people don't tend to realise, is that they don't have a main dining room, but people make effort.
I would say...
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this does apply for the cruise lines as well, but I think Virgin, when it comes to people getting dressed up in an evening, I think it's got that sort of reputation of being a party ship, which in some cases there is truth.
You are and what you're doing.
But from a dress-up point of view, I think that people get dressed up more on that than they do on Cunard.
Every night, yeah.
Every night.
Yeah.
And I think
it's different when
it's not like black tie, it's not that traditional dress-up, but the fanciness of the clothes
you'll
that people
see
wear.
heels, you'll see cocktail frocks, you'll see jackets, you'll see sequin jackets, you'll see satin jackets, you'll see
hair's done fancy. Everyone really making that effort, and because they don't have a main dining room as such, each of the restaurant therefore is a main dining room because you're not paying.
No, but it feels like a night out.
Yeah, you feel like you're going more to a restaurant.
You don't
as
feel
opposed to
going in, if you're going in, like, upstate Mexico, it's very hot here. Pink agave. You don't feel you're doing that as just a settling for pink agave, because the main dining
No,
room
absolutely not.
is booked.
The quality of it is phenomenal.
Yeah. Whereas if you could not go into the main dining room on some ships and you go to, as it's not a speciality, you feel you might be just, you're getting second best.
Yeah.
But that's not the case either.
I thought it's worth touching on because I don't think all main dining rooms are losing the magic, and I think it depends as to what ship you're at. I do think that the massive main dining rooms have lost the magic to a
It
big
depends
degree.
on the night. If it's formal night, it's wonderful.
But I think even on
So
the
bringing
really
out-
big ships, the formal nights that were formal nights are not the same as what they were even
No,
10
but
years ago.
if there's some napkin waggling and there's
Baked Alaska.
a baked Alaska on parade, or the crew get all.
But I think even that, to a
It'll
degree,
feel nice.
yeah, it does. It makes it feel a little bit more special at that time. But I think to, again, newer cruisers, they'd be like, what is
What
going
is
on
this?
here? Yeah,
What
and
do I need
this-
to get up? Do I
yeah,
need to go in
this
a
feels-
conga?
This feels very dated.
Yeah.
It's nice for those that have cruised for a long while because it's that throwback of sort of the magic of what they used to be in those
Yeah.
days. But I don't think all main dining rooms have got worse. As I say, I think that the smaller ones are just as good or nearly as good, or maybe in some cases better. The main dining room food that we had on Windstar, for instance,
It's amazing.
I think was the best main dining room food we've ever had on any ship ever.
Absolutely.
And yeah, all right,
Have a-
there were only a couple of hundred people in there at the most. So we've been into speciality dinings that have got more than that. And not everyone's there at the same time because you don't have to all turn up at the same time. So I think not having the fixed seating in those smaller ones worked.
Yeah.
And we were placed around the same waiting staff every night.
Yeah, we were. You have what was basically like satellite tables.
Yeah,
We would hover around a certain area,
yeah.
and we would then.
Or we'd be placed around a certain area. We wouldn't just hover there.
No, but we seemed to be always put
In a general area.
No, as we went in, we were at the back in
To the
like,
right, as we're looking at.
Yes, we were in that area. Sometimes we spilled slightly to the left, but we were still in the back.
Yeah, and therefore we had the same sort of staff looking after us who, again, going back to those glory days of the restaurants, knew the sort of food that we liked, knew that.
Yeah.
But also, going back to what you said earlier, the menus were much more varied. You weren't getting variations of the same menu every day.
Oh no!
Every night it was a very different
It
menu.
was themed. Whereas now it's like favourites.
Yeah. And for me, that magic came back for the main dining room on that ship because of how good the food was, how good the service was.
Yeah.
And even though we had options to go to the speciality dining on board free of charge, because there was no upgrade charge.
Well,
to
included
it.
in the price, don't
Yeah,
it?
including the price. Yeah, there was no further cost attached to it. We still chose to go in the main dining room more than the speciality because the quality of the food and service
It's
there
amazing.
was
The
fantastic.
atmosphere was amazing.
So I think that they exist. From what we understand, we've not been on it, but Explorer Journeys gets similar rave reviews of people saying how amazing that is, service, best main dining rooms they've eaten in. So I think what's happening is the smaller ships
And nailing it.
are absolutely nailing it. The bigger ones seem to have gone away from it.
Well, build it, it's just won't be the same.
Yeah, they'll have it because they've got to have an area to cater to hundreds or even thousands of people on the big ships. Mm-hmm. But it's just not that same thing.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to sort of cover in terms of sort of them losing the magic? Anything you don't think that we touched on there?
No, it's too hot.
It's so hot. Yeah, in where we are in the UK today in York, it's 32 degrees.
We have to then convert that for our international audience.
Hot.
Like,
Let's just go with hot. Yeah, it's very warm.
It's very hot.
Yeah. Would you like some cruise
Yes, please.
news?
Thank you.
Okay. So 3 stories. The first one, I've just put a title on it to remind myself of No Ducking Here.
What have the ducks done now?
Been annoying.
Well, it's when they cause a health and safety issue. That's what.
Well, we're kind of along this.
Okay.
So Royal Caribbean has moved to a degree to end the cruising duck phenomenon, which has really gone ballistic in the last few years.
Yeah.
by banning them in one of its most popular locations
For ducks.
for ducks, the most popular on any of the ships, but
Okay.
one of the most popular, full stop, in one of its bigger ships. Where do you think that is? Where have people been hiding them that's really annoyed Royal?
That's annoyed them, or the best hiding place.
Both. For that reason. It's one of my favourite
Oh,
places.
Central Park, the plant place.
Yeah.
That's a great place for hiding your duck. And you've got context, because it's like nature, and you can give them like a little scenario.
And they've got the big green walls in there.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
hide them in,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can hide them under trees.
Yeah.
Fantastic hiding place.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people are then damaging the plants and trees. So Royal has said that they don't want people hiding in there. They've now put up a sign, and they're doing sort of a gentle approach at the time being.
Okay.
Saying, ducks are not
Don't
welcome
do
here.
ducks.
keep your ducks away. But obviously, whilst it's a soft approach at the moment, if it continues and the plants are getting damaged increasingly, then they will sort of take action on it. I saw some comments on the news story of people going, well, how are they going to know who's hidden them? There's quite a lot of CCTV on ships.
I wonder how long before I got banned from Royal Caribbean because of my duck problem.
Yeah.
I
That
got
seems
my
an
duck-
inevitable story. Well, we don't normally cover those sort of stories, but if that one comes up in the next few months, we shall cover it. But I personally don't have an issue with it. I think it's nice that they hide the ducks. I think it's, but if you're actually damaging the plants,
If
and
you're like taking out a plant to stick in your duck, then
it seems over the top. So I have no problems with that. I know some people did, but
Okay.
I think it's reasonable. Okay, cruise story number 2.
okay.
So if you recall, a couple of episodes ago, we talked about Regent Seven Seas' new ship, Prestige.
No super pricey one.
Yeah. And it's got its mega Skyview suite
Okay.
starting at $25,000.
Oh yeah.
You remember
indeed,
the
yeah.
conversation? Well, it's doing quite well. In
I
its
don't mean
inaugural season, they've sold out over half of the cruises with that one so far. And the ship as a whole is doing incredibly well because it's their fanciest ever ship. But that one particular ship, cruise area, is absolutely storming it. And people are loving it. So no doubt we will see some video tours of it at some point. I cannot imagine any scenario that we paid to book £25,000 a night suite.
No.
You can do a lot of cruising for £25,000.
I know, but it's cheaper than if you are a billionaire. It is cheaper to go.
It's cheaper than buying your own
yacht.
yacht. Yeah, and maybe that's who's bought it.
Yeah.
I'm still with what I said last time, that I think it's probably been given to sort of high roller type people. Like casinos do. I think it. I'm not saying they're doing it to casino people, but
No. Okay.
fancier people. Okay, final news story. And it's quite an interesting one, given today's weather.
Oh.
Are cruise ships responsible for you getting sunburn? Now, that might sound like a daft question,
Right.
because obviously the cruise ships don't control the weather.
No.
But a Carnival passenger
Okay.
has recently complained,
Yeah.
saying that they were on Serenity, they're in the Serenity area
Yeah.
for the day
Yeah.
when they got sunburn.
Has it got a roof?
I don't know.
Okay.
What they've said is there were no water spritzer bottles to cool the skin.
Well, that's not going to do anything for you.
It's not going to stop you burning.
I mean,
It'll cool you down, but so would a pool.
yeah, but I'm not putting on water spritzer to protect me from the sun. In fact,
No.
the water is going to act as an accelerant, really.
It's 'cause if you're in the pool, you sunburn
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. So yeah,
I've never seen water spritzers on any cruise line,
no.
but that's a different thing. There were no places to buy sunblock.
No places to buy sunblock. Why are you going?
I'm going to come back to that in a
on
second.
cruise without sunblock.
Yeah. And what they said is Carnival's refusal to help is wrong. There were not any warnings or signs.
Right. I feel out of all the people on the planet, I am the person that can comment on this.
When I saw this story, my immediate reaction was, at some point during it, Lindsay will go, if I don't burn, no one's got any more excuse. I am the best person to comment on this.
You and the thing is, you said it wrong. You said you. If I was saying it, I would have used mature language to say that if I don't burn, no should burn, because it's true.
It is.
I can't
Very
go
fair
out.
skin.
I can't go out 20 minutes. 20 minutes without starting to fry. So.
I mean, the interesting bit, I'll read you the rest of the story and then we can sort of come back to it.
Why are we going on holiday and not taking his son to
Well,
Russia?
that's a different thing.
What?
The guest doesn't specifically indicate where the ship was sailing at the time. And as such, and we can speak from this firsthand, sunburns can happen anywhere that the sun's strong, whether you're in the Caribbean or whether you're in Alaska.
Yeah, it can.
Because the first time we'd got sunburn on a cruise in years was at Alaska. And we just didn't think about it.
Because it was stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, we were naive.
That big sun in the sky does not change.
We don't. It's still there.
Your position might change on the planet,
Yeah,
but
the
the
sun's
sun,
still there.
the sun is still the sun. Would it charge Superman? Yes.
It would charge Superman.
So-
That should be the rule. Would it recharge Superman after a fight? Yes.
What does it
I
give you
need suntan
power?
lotion on.
I just, honestly,
So
I don't choose to be this colour. I don't choose to be this colour. This is the colour that I am.
I honestly knew that this was the
You
degree
might-
that you would go for. It's like just wind her up and let her go.
Because, no.
Let me carry on with the story for you because I feel you've got more to say.
In like 35-degree heat for 2 days now.
Well, you say it out. You like went out when it's too hot and came back in about 10 minutes later.
No, I did 20 minutes. I did 20 minutes.
You did.
I have a sun hat. I could.
All the suntan cream.
I've got all the suntan cream on. I do it before I go out.
Also well wound up. It's the most wound up you've ever got about any question ever on 36
Because
episodes.
it's important, because you damage yourself.
You do. I completely agree. Now, John Hill, it's very rare that we go a week without him commenting on something. As the brand ambassador for Carnival said that he does really feel sorry for this person, because anyone who's had sunburn or
it's
spotted
awful.
blisters knows it's
awful.
not nice, and you have sympathy.
And you stay hydrated.
Yeah. What they said is that they can only hope that this person has now learned 2 valuable lessons. One, always apply sunscreen when you're on a cruise.
Before you even head out of your stateroom, don't put it on
Yeah.
at the side. Don't be the
Put it on
first
when
time.
you get out of the shower, get dry, put your suntan cream.
Yeah, don't be doing it at the side of the pool.
No, you need it to be on first.
You need it to settle.
And then his second comment was, which I actually quite like, when things go wrong, it isn't always Carnival Cruise Line's fault.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I don't see that you can blame the cruise lines. But should the cruise line take any responsibility? That's a different thing as to whether there should be blame.
Now, I will say this: some all-inclusive resorts do have suntan lotion
Yeah,
around,
yeah, they do.
and
some cruise lines.
some fancy cruise lines have the suntan lotion around. Like, here you are, slap it on.
Yeah,
But it's
I'm not sure that's how they actually bring it when they come out, but
they will in Australia.
they would, yeah.
So put it on. Make sure you get a high factor. You used to put the oil on.
Yeah, but I used to sort of suntan very quickly and didn't burn until I did burn one time, and now I use much stronger suntan cream.
Yes.
But
It's not the cruise line's fault.
no, it's not. But I think that there are some bits that they could do to help. So this isn't a responsibility thing. The person said that there was no sunblock or sunscreen available on board for sale.
Really?
Carnival have actually said, no, there were. There was sunblock and sun cream available. It was in their fun shops, which is what I'm guessing they're called on the Carnival ship.
Downstairs.
Yeah. Not on the sun deck.
Which would help.
And that's what I thought is, why not, as a company that likes profit, because they do,
Yeah.
make it available for sale upstairs where it's sunny. That's like
You wouldn't
only having cocktails downstairs.
It-
You have them upstairs because people want them when they're up there.
I mean,
You don't have to have a separate shop.
Are they
You
gonna
could make
follow-
it for sale on the bar.
well, it'd have to be. I'll put it under the counter because it doesn't look. You don't want it to
You
look
can
like
make it clear that it's available for sale there.
a service station.
Yeah.
But it's
It's going to make additional revenue. You can then have signs there saying sunblock and sun cream available here for sale. That's all it needs to say. And I think,
don't even think it even needs to say that. It could just be on a little bit on the menu.
but I think something that they could do, which would be a really easy thing, because that's what I was just about to say, because they already put the temperature in there each day. All they need to do is have a little thing saying,
UV
make sure
level.
UV level. We get it on the weather every morning over in
British.
Yeah, especially when it's sunny. It's like UV level 8, which means you're going to burn if you don't put your cream on in the UK.
Yeah.
All they've got to do is put that in the planner, or when they do the daily broadcasts from the cruise director and things like that on the TV, they say, make sure you put your suntan cream on today because the UV is really hot. Yeah. They're filming it every day, so it's not that it's not relevant. Yeah. They talk about staying hydrated, as you say. So would it really be that big a deal?
I've actually gone past the ship's medical bay when we've been away, and there's been sunburnt people waiting to see the doctor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys.
To be fair, when you get really, really bad sunburn,
it's awful. It's awful, but and the water gets you, because if you haven't got a really good sun, so we've got the family. I mean, you laugh at me for my suntan lotion collection.
I do, but I don't burn when I use it.
But make sure you've got like a sports / family one. You put it back up.
That's fine for you getting wet.
I could do a whole session on how to put your suntan lotion.
Well, I'm sure people would be fascinated about that at some point. But
I'm not doing it like lathering it live.
I wasn't suggesting that you do lathering live. That would be just weird. So, in circles. Suntan lotion on, suntan lotion off. Well, with that, we, at the time of recording, we are just about to set off to go on a cruise. Yeah. So we're heading to the station very shortly.
I need to go. So can we go now? Because I need to.
We will say goodbye to everyone.
Bye-bye.
Wrap up, and I will play us out with quite a long.
No.
But you can go.
I'm going.
Bon voyage. Until next time, and take care of yourselves. Until then, we'll see you next time for the next episode of the Sweet Natured Cruise Cast. It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Lindsay, but we will be back in 2 weeks' time. So thank you so much for listening and for all your support. Bon voyage. Until next time, and take care of yourselves. Until then, we'll see you next time for the next episode of the Sweet